Hello, darlings! July is the month of our Mokuba darling, the sweet-hearted, kind-prone, naive boy who is fully devoted to his older brother Seto, the warm cinnamon roll, the kid who forgives anybody and only has love in his heart. I'll defend Mokuba in this video and explain why he is more intelligent and overpowered than his older sibling. Subscribe and give a like to the video, or you can also become a Patreon and support the channel. Like in most videos, this will be chronological. Around the age of 5 and 10, the boys were thrown into the orphanage. We don't know how much time they spent there. All we know is that Seto was praised for his intelligence and was asked many times to be adopted, but he refuses all of them because they didn't want to adopt Mokuba too. So Seto, the smart kid, acted like a parent to Mokuba since the early ages, giving Mokuba very hard to swallow life lessons over and over again while still giving care. And then Gosuburo's plan started. According to the manga, Seto cheated and Mokuba knew all of this. Gosuburo never found out. Up until this point, Seto is still considered the smart kid. He is put on a very strong educational regimen to bring all his intelligence potential. But nothing is mentioned about Mokuba. Many fans assume he was neglected, but Gosuburu is not that of an idiot. The age in which kids starts going to school in Japan is at 5 years old. So while Seto was forced to learn things for a 10-year-old according to Gosuburu, Mokuba was having the same educational at a longer pace. After all, Seto didn't have those 5 years of advantage Mokuba did. He had to learn everything fast. And the younger a kid is, the faster a learner they are. So, Mokuba at the age of 10 and Seto at the age of 15, we can still see a big difference in knowledge between the brothers. Well, that is of course because Seto is 18 and Mokuba is still a kid. But also because the knowledge Seto has to be according to his age. But let's compare both. They both had 5 years of education under Gosuburu's manor. They both were taught enough of the business. Mokuba at 10 was the ideal the Seto had to work for when he first entered the Kaiba family. Mokuba already has the knowledge, if not more. At the age of 10, Seto understood the value of money and made a strategy to only be adopted by somebody wealthy enough to adopt Mokuba too, making him do a plan to win against Gosuburo when he visited the orphanage. By the age of 10, Mokuba worked a strategy made by Seto to take over the Kaiba Corporation, although many fans claim that he didn't know the plan of his brother and that Mokuba was only being used by him. But still, brotherly love made him go back to him to help him win. Seto explained the plan so well to Mokuba. He understood that having one more card meant owning the company. Mokuba owns a part of the company. Seto acting bad towards him, calling him a traitor, made Mokuba seek a more powerful person, Gosuburo. Planned or not, if Seto lost against Gosuburo, Mokuba would have taken his place in Gosuburo's side, and he wouldn't be thrown out to the orphanage too, either fully betraying his brother or using his power to keep with an inside plan to get his brother back and bring Gosuburo down. That's just how the brothers work. Many claim Seto used Mokuba and his feelings, but nobody looks at the bigger picture. Mokuba was the inside spy and Gosuburo's ears, while Seto was doing the stock dirty work. And Mokuba just waited until the very precise moment to give the 2% stock to Seto. The Kaiba brothers' plan has worked, and Gosuburo saw that. He was fooled by a 10 and a 15-year-old. Everybody gives praise to the eldest sibling because, let's be honest, he was the mastermind. But people forget about how a 10-year-old was working inside the plan. When I was 10, I was doing tea parties with my plushies, while Seto was building Kaibaland and was the king of duel monsters. Mokuba held the record in almost all of Japan arcade machines at the age of 10, and also had a bunch of gang kids under his command. Armed with teasers, knives, and gun, we see 15-year-old Kaiba hacking into Pegasus' computer and knowing how to pilot a helicopter. And although it is not seen for those 6 months that Seto was in coma, we know Mokuba was fighting back against the Big Five and Industrial Solution, even willing to eat the key that holds the important Kaiba Corp documents. Both brothers in Duelist Kingdom arc escaped their kidnapped ones. And I recall a 10-year-old that was able to escape their kidnappers. And in the first virtual filler arc, Mokuba, knowing the big five were planning on kidnapping him, ran out and gave them a big nope. Asked for some help like a decent 10-year-old kid and freed his brother who was the one kidnapped by being fooled by a new game. In Battle City, he is the Battle City Commission. He has the information about all the duelists, their locations, and the cards they are using. And yet, he manages to find duelists who are actually cheating and also settling disputes. Assuming he has now 11-year-old, he already has the hell of a hard job. And in the manga, he is the one locating Joey and even making questions why his brother would care to help a loser like Jonuchi. And until the end of Battle City, he was still using his computer and tracking duelists all over the tournament, while his 16-year-old brother was also doing computer researching and dueling. Yu-Gi-Oh! R, a 12-year-old Mokuba is seen hacking the computer back from Industrial Solutions heirs, while Seto is just wandering there and briefcasing people. For all we know, at the age of 15 in Duelist Kingdom, Kaiba hacked and later failed against Industrial Solution. But Mokuba by the age of 12 was able to hack their company back. Probably he studied too much to avoid Kaiba Core being hacked again. In the Transcendent Manga, Mokuba managed to save his brother's lives while he was experimenting with the dimension dueling. And in Dark Seas of Dimensions, he is the chief in charge of the Egypt excavation. Not only that, but when they capture Diva, Mokuba's job is to play innocent and naive and distract Diva to buy Seto some time. And the best part of it is a 13-year-old Mokuba in charge of Kaiba Corporation, something his older sibling got at the age of 15. When Seto left to the past, left all the charge to his younger brother, meaning 13-year-old Mokuba is as smart as his 15-year-old eldest sibling. Seto might have been a natural genius, but Mokuba had the advantage in learning since the beginning, not only academically, but also he is more sociable and can work with people the best, using his big brother as a role model to better himself. Seto did not trust a 10-year-old Mokuba in Death Tea against Yami. Also, it was none of Mokuba's business to interfere, and in Dark Seas of Dimension, Seto is confident enough that Mokuba is going to take a good care of the company they both work together. The kid is overpowered. He can go from Yakuza leader to good cop and still do all, and maybe more things than his elder brother did when he was his age. Like this video if you found this theory interesting and comment any other theory about the Kaiba brothers you might have. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.